This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Good morning and welcome to All Saints by the Seas Digital Children's Chapel. I'm Reverend Amy, and while I miss being able to be with you all in person, I'm so glad that we can be together in this digital format. If you are able, I ask you to find a candle in your house and have a grown-up who's with you help you light the candle as we get started with Children's Chapel. Each week we light the candle as a reminder that God's light is shining in our world, in the dark places, and there's places where we're afraid, and there's places where we're sad, and there's places where there's joy and happiness and fun and love. God's light is shining everywhere, and this light is a symbol of God's light. So let's go ahead and light our candle with the grown-ups' help. And now it's time to say our prayers. So why don't you center your hands in front of your heart to help us center ourselves for our prayer. And we'll take in 3 deep breaths, in through our nose and out through our mouth. I like to close my eyes when I do it. So if you'd like to do that, you can as well. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. 1, 2, 3. And now repeat after me. God be in my head and in my thinking. God be in my eyes and in my seeing. God be in my ears and in my hearing. God be in my mouth and in my speaking. God be in my heart and in my loving. Amen. And now we're going to hear the story for today.
Today's story is Daniel and the Lions. Daniel was the king's helper. Daniel was the king's friend. Daniel was God's friend too. He talked to God every day. One day the king said, Everybody stop praying. You must pray just to me. If you pray to God, I will put you where the lions are. Now, Daniel heard what the king said. Daniel thought about the lions. Daniel said, I will pray to God anyway. So Daniel went home, he went upstairs, he got down on his knees, and he talked to God. The next day, Daniel talked to God again. Soon the king's men came. They saw Daniel praying, and they ran to tell the king. They said, Daniel is talking to his God. Oh my, said the king. He didn't want to put Daniel where the lions were. Oh my, said the king. He was sad. He liked Daniel. But at last he said, Daniel, your God will take care of you. So they put Daniel down, down, down into the lion's place. Then everybody went home. The lions saw Daniel. The lions heard Daniel. The lions smelled Daniel. But the lions didn't bite Daniel. Do you know why? Because God shut their mouths. And Daniel said, yes, O king, my God sent angels to shut the lions' mouths. They haven't hurt me at all. Now, the king was very happy. He said to his men, pull Daniel up out of the lion's place. So they pulled Daniel up out of the lion's place. They looked at his face. They looked at his hands. They looked at his feet. The lions hadn't even scratched him. I wonder what your favorite part of that story was. What did you tell the person that you're with? I think I have too many parts to share. So I guess that my favorite part was that Daniel kept calling out and praying out to God and had faith in God even when he was frightened or even when he was told he was to do something else. He kept loving God and praying to God, and God kept being faithful to Daniel as well. God is always faithful to us. God is always faithful to you. And since God is always faithful and loves you so much, let's sing a song of thanks to God.
The story tells us about how good God is. Let's sing about that together. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so
That was a wonderful story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Chaplain Allison, and I'm really glad that you're worshiping with us today. I'm here in my backyard with my chickens and my dog Waffles. So we're going to get ready to have our closing prayer. So let's put our hands in prayer position and have 3 deep breaths in and out to help us get settled in prayer position. That's 1. So let's go another deep breath in and out and in and out. Okay. Help me, Lord, to love you more than I've ever loved before. In my work and in my play, God be with me through the day. Amen. And now it's time to change the light. Remember, we light the candle to represent God's light here with us. And when we blow the candle out, it doesn't mean that God's light and God's love go away. It means that it goes everywhere, and it's inside of us also. So let's watch the light as it goes. There it goes. It's moving everywhere. So, thank you for worshiping all of us here today. And now let's sing a song.
The candle reminds us that God's light is always within us, and we can let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.